Hi, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket. I'm actually located in Coogee in Sydney. I'm at the great hotel and I'm enjoying myself here. As you can see, there are people behind me. COVID conditions don't react. But we have a very, very, very special guest today. Someone I know very well and I've known for a long time. Her name is Sripali Weerakkody. Now, she is from Sri Lanka. She's actually in Colombo right now. She has had a distinguished career of some 16 plus years of international cricket. She's played for her country. She's represented Kandy. She's represented the world in cricket, especially for women's cricket. That's where I'm very proud to bring her onto the show. We've got lots to talk about. We can talk about the IPL. We can talk about women's IPL. We can talk about Sri Lankan cricket. And most important to me and to Sripali is what happens post-cricket. What do people do when they transition from cricket to their other loves, their passions? And in Sripali's case, we'll let her tell us all about that. It's around a very important topic of coaching, training, the whole fitness regimes, and also the high-performance industry, which is a very large one around the world. And if anyone's listening there from India, if you want an IPL high-performance professional, you've got one right here in Sripali Weerakkody. Welcome, Sripali.
Hello, Norman. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My pleasure. How are you today? Is the weather good in Sri Lanka? Is it a warm day? Is the weather warm?
Yeah, it's not raining actually. It's sunny day.
Fantastic. And you look very bright and sunny yourself. You look very happy now that you have a career which has moved on from cricket to fitness, training, yoga, coaching, so many things that you're doing now that have brought you to the next level. Tell us about, firstly, your new career. We'll start with your new career. What are you doing now? We've lost her, I think. Sripali, can you hear me? She probably has. We've probably lost her at the moment. I think it's due to the internet, which is not very reliable in places like Sri Lanka. But I'll continue to talk while I'm waiting for her. Sripali had played cricket for her country as an opening bowler. In fact, she was more of an all-rounder most of her career. She actually batted very high in the order and was involved in some very important partnerships, which meant that she would actually play cricket for her country. There was one particular match in India that I was there for, and I was very, very impressed with her play, and she was very, very good. I'll just see whether I can grab her, see what she's doing. I'm getting her to reset. Okay. We'll get her to restart. She's just having to join again. In the meantime, I'll talk. So Sripali Weerakkody has played for Sri Lanka from the age of 18, firstly for some 16 years. She came from a small village not far from Kandy in the Highlands and had to travel each and every day some 3.5 hours by bus down the hill and further 3.5 hours up. It's quite an achievement for her to do that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah. Now.
Okay. Just you keep talking. So, Sripali, I asked you the question about your transition to your new career. Tell us about that. Tell us about your new career.
I started in a so I on
You keep talking, Sripali. You keep talking.
here.
Sripali, can you hear me now? The connection's very poor, unfortunately. Guys, can you hear me? Tell me whether you can actually hear me now. If you can hear me, that'd be good. Let's see if you can hear me. might move from this location. Guys, you should be able to hear me. I'm pretty loud and clear. The ability to hear me is normally never a problem, so let's go somewhere where I can be heard better. I think we might move somewhere a little bit further away as reception. Yes, Praveen, you're right. She has some network problems, but she'll keep trying. It's difficult with a country like Sri Lanka. They have intermittent Wi-Fi. It's usually not very good. So I'm going to move to a better spot. Okay, guys, so bear with me a moment. I'm in a place where it's a bit loud, so I'll pay. I'm gonna. Internet's not very good there. The internet's not very good there, so I'm moving. Just moving. That's better. All right, I'm moving here, guys. I think I've got a better spot here. All right, everyone. I'm still here. I'm hoping you can all hear me. So the internet connection was a little bit poor, so you can hear me very loud and clear, which I expect because I'm in a loud voice. I'm just going to get Sripali back in because just her internet. Bear with me, guys. The internet's always been a problem in Sri Lanka, and I'm sure that she'll get back on as soon as she possibly can. I think when I've moved, I may have helped that actually happen, so we'll wait for her to come back on. So you notice, guys, I've got myself a new T-shirt, a new hat, new era for Eyes on Cricket. We've certainly got a very good platform to work with, and I'm very glad some of you are here now, and we've got more coming on. Sripali, I've got a better spot. Come back on, okay? Come back. You can come back now, okay? Try again. All right, guys. So, Sripali Weerakkody, she has been a centerpiece of the bowling attack for some 16 years. But it's not just her cricket with Sri Lanka that I'm going to be talking to her about. I'm also going to be talking to her about such things as the IPL. The IPL is something that she's had a lot to do with in terms of from the periphery from women's cricket. Women's cricket is actually very, very much in a position of ascendancy. We have 8 men's teams, as you know, and there's a lot of talk around KL Rahul, MS Dhoni, even Tendulkar, a number of Australians, New Zealand players that are encouraging that women's cricket actually takes on another level, which means they have 8 teams in women's cricket. That'll be a monumental effort, but a significant one, and it should happen. We've got women's cricket happening in the 100 in England. We've also got a lot of cricket with the Women's Big Bash in Australia. Are very successful, as you know. A lot of international players are playing it. I think it's very important they do the same thing in the IPL, and I think Sripali could be a part of that. We've got you now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly now.
Okay, that's better. I'm in a better spot. I was in what looked like a nightclub over there. It was very loud.
Oh.
Okay. I wasn't not a nightclub, but it sounded like a nightclub.
Yeah, sound good.
All right. So Sripali, I want you to tell the viewers and me what you're doing now. What are you doing now? What is your day involved with your training?
Actually, cricket, I played 16 years team in Sri Lanka. So after that, I studied fitness and master trainer. So now fitness. So I do CrossFit. CrossFit means HIIT training. It's like a new model in Sri Lanka. So I have my own fitness company called Myras. So we do. I have different parts of Europe. So we both are creative, and we have new fitness model like fitness, yoga, and meditation all together. And we are introducing now that model to Sri Lanka, and not only Sri Lanka, actually worldwide.
Well, that's the important thing with the internet, with Zoom and with Skype and all platforms. You can actually do what you're doing from anywhere. You don't have to be in Sri Lanka, in Colombo. They can be in. So Sripali, come closer to the camera and speak a bit louder.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you, but I'm worried about other people. That's all. So make sure you talk louder because this is always a bit of internet's always a problem. So,
Yeah.
so Sripali, you're open to having clients in India, for example. Your fitness regime with your hit fitness. Is it called hit fitness? What is your? Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
CrossFit, not CrossFit, minus CrossFit. It's a hit training. The interval training.
So, with your hit fitness program, you are actually working very heavily with people of all ages, young children,
Yeah. Yeah.
adults, younger people, all ages, aren't you?
Yeah. Everyone. Actually, this model is new to Sri Lanka. Actually, world new model because I do meditation fitness. I place national level, so I have experience and I know what we miss actually.
Right. Okay. So, what are your plans? Do you want to do more
Place,
high performance coaching in
uh,
places like the women's IPL or in other countries? Is that also part of your plans? We have a problem with the volume, of course, and there's a problem with the internet connection, but Sripali will keep going. Don't worry, guys. Bear with it, everyone. We're going to get there. Pradamish, you've got some great questions. Sripali's connection is not good, and we apologise for that, but it's something that sometimes happens with these platforms. But she'll keep trying. It's not a problem. But I must say that this woman is quite amazing. She has been through a lot of adversity in her life. Um, she really has had a situation where she's had a life of struggle. In fact, most women cricketers from countries like Sri Lanka, to a lesser extent even Bangladesh, Pakistan, UAE, Malaysia, parts of certainly South Africa, they struggle. They're not paid brilliantly. Their only hope is the larger tournaments, such as what is the Women's IPL, the Women's Big Bash, the WBBL in Australia, the 100 coming up in England, and certainly some local events. They get taken care of when it comes to playing for their country, but they don't really make a solid living. Now, I'm not saying they should make millions of dollars, but they should be better supported. Our sponsors all over the world, you see the likes of a Sripali Weerakkody, a very, very beautiful woman, very lovely personality, would be able to sell any product, and I never understand why sponsors aren't backing them. Now, I know, for example, there's companies such as My 11 Circle is doing a lot of internet-based gaming. Now, would be lovely to have a female face for their products overseas, or whether it be an insurance company, whether it be a tyre company, whether it be a fitness company, one of the fitness clinics. They are the ones that really, really needs to be able to step up and get involved. And I think that's very, very important. It's all about making people aware of them, and the awareness is high. We have Alyssa Healy and Elise Perry in Australia. There are people like Shabnim Ismail in South Africa. The number of the England players, obviously the Indian players, Harmanpreet Kaur, they certainly are, gaining a lot of profile. Mithali Raj is almost Tendulkar-like in the amount of games that she's played. Excuse me, the amount of runs that she has scored has been quite phenomenal. So we mustn't forget those people in that play. We're going to have to make sure. Let's just try to play one more time. I'll tell her to keep trying because I think the internet connection may be just a bit wavering at the moment. Keep trying, Sripali. Keep trying. Okay, no problems. I'm talking. Okay, keep trying. Keep trying. Keep trying. So look, it is something that I've brought a lot of girls out to Australia to play in the domestic competitions. They've had exposure to working. They've also had exposure to sponsorships. They've been also invited to certain event nights where they've been able to promote the company involved, whether it be, for example, Shura Insurance, SURA Insurance has also been one that certainly has helped in Australia, which I'm very thankful for. Now, Suman Awashi says, Norman,
your thoughts on Australian players' performance so far in the IPL? Well, I certainly can talk about that. Sripali wouldn't be talking about it too. Sripali's going to become a regular commentator on our programs about men's cricket because she's an expert, obviously, in cricket. To me, Glenn Maxwell, by no doubt at all, is a significant part of the RCB lineup. He has the luxury of having a Kohli and AB de Villiers in the side as well, but his play is going to become paramount for RCB to actually win the tournament. I believe they're in the top 3 teams, even though Delhi Capitals last night were, unfortunately, they were actually beaten. It was a very sloppy game around, but we can, as I called it last night, an aberration. The fact that Delhi Capitals played rather badly and Punjab Kings got away with that. Punjab Kings, Rajasthan Royals got away with that. The reality is that Delhi Capitals will be a force. They have Australian players as well. The young Meredith and also Richardson that are playing. They're actually on tonight with Punjab Kings, aren't they? They're a bit way off, unfortunately. I wouldn't necessarily say that they were at their best. In fact, they weren't. People say that they played well in the BBL, but honestly, the BBL is not the same as the IPL. The IPL is distinctly better. There's no doubt about that. The IPL is distinctly better, and we shouldn't underestimate that. The domestic players that are playing from India, which we've seen, they're coming in through the domestic competitions into the competition now. The Punjab Kings, last time with the Rajasthan Royals, even the likes of Delhi Capitals unearthed players yesterday. There's a lot to be said about that whole situation. That the domestic players of India are now holding their own, especially fast bowlers. Back to the Australian players. JD's asked about Steve Miss just sitting on the bench. Shouldn't he be playing in the Shield final? Yes, he should be playing in the Shield final. New South Wales need him. New South Wales are going horribly at the moment. I mean, Queensland have passed the score of New South Wales easily, and they're going well and truly ahead. It's quite embarrassing. Sripali's back in another spot. You look like you're in a. Can you hear me? But can you speak? Speak loudly. I can't hear you. Is your volume up? Is your volume up? That's right. You keep trying, Sripali. I'm talking about the IPL, so no problems. You take your time and get ready. We're here. You can hear me? Yep. You can hear me? Okay. Oh, I can hear you too. All right. So we're talking about the IPL. I've spoken about women's cricket already quite a bit. We'll talk more about that. But the men's IPL, in particular the Australian players, Glenn Maxwell for Royal Challengers Bangalore, playing fantastically. Did you see him play?
Yeah. I'm not following actually these days cricket. I am running classes here, so I was free and I just click and I saw pause only. So anyway, not like last different and so excited. We never know.
Have you got your headset? Have you got your headset?
Oh no.
Have you got this? No. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Can I give it to you? Can you take it? Take it.
Yes, please.
All right. Just, Sripali, speak loudly, very loudly, because it's a bit soft. Not because of you, but the connection. So come closer to the phone and speak loudly, okay?
On, actually.
Okay,
So
good.
close.
If you speak loudly, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
The young bowlers, Richardson and Meredith, they're 2 Australian bowlers. Have you seen them play? They're playing for the Punjab Kings. They're playing tonight.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? What do you think of them?
Actually, they will. They are new, actually, but I think they will come back.
Sripali will come back. She's having problems with the internet, so it's fine. So Martin Labuschagne, yes, it goes. He's actually dominating in that match for Queensland. New South Wales, Jason Sanger, he was on 20, looking fantastic. You see Jason Sanger, that beautiful drives. VVS Laxman like for New South Wales. He had a very poor pull shot and got out, which was unfortunate, but watch out for him. There's still a second innings to go, don't worry. Now, Steve Smith And for that matter, Kane Williamson, although he's not an Australian, he probably should be in the sides. It's amazing to see them not.
In.
Is that good? Isn't it? It's incredible, Sripali, how Steve Smith and Kane Williamson, they're not playing. They're sitting on the bench. It's a waste, isn't it? Two quality players in the IPL not playing. Crazy.
Yeah, one of my best players. Me.
They should be playing, exactly. It's crazy. But then you have players like Ridham Saha, the keeper. He's opening batting. He's not playing well. That's a crazy decision. They shouldn't have him in the side.
Yeah.
Teams need to use Steve Smith and Kane Williamson. They should be in the team. They shouldn't be on the bench. I think Kane Williamson yesterday.
Especially Smith, the way he played, incredible. I think last year, especially last year, he was really well with the bat. Actually, he should play. And one of my favorite players.
But who is your favourite team in the IPL, and who do you think will win?
I'm so excited, I wanted to say Mumbai Indians, but we never know this time. Not like last time, but this time is different, and everyone is playing different levels, So we can't
True.
guess really. Still, we can't guess who will win.
But what do you think of Royal Challengers Bangalore? Royal Challengers Bangalore. They have Kohli, De Villiers.
Actually, they are pretty good, but I like not Royal Challengers.
You like Kohli. You like Kohli.
Yeah, I like Kohli, one of my favorite players, Kohli and Smith, But I like Mumbai Indians because the way they played and their attitude and the way they train, and it's different, I feel. As the team, they're perfect for me.
So, in the future, women's cricket, women's IPL, there's a lot of talk about having 8 teams, not 4,
Yeah.
3, but having 8.
I heard it. Yeah.
What do you think? That should give an opportunity for someone like you, perhaps, to play a little bit of cricket, but also get involved with training, coaching.
Yeah, I gave up cricket, so I don't play cricket again. But I would like to train players, with my new model. So I would like to introduce my new fitness model to, especially athlete. So already a few athletes are working with me. So let's see. If I get chance, definitely I will come. Also, I want to tell this: if they select to play women's IPL with 8 team, actually is really good, and women's cricket will improve a lot like men's IPL. Worldwide players together, they will play good league. So it will be actually really good opportunity the other countries as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pity you were not 20 years of age now, Sripali, because the next 10 years you could be playing women's IPL. If you were 20 now, a young 20-year-old playing for Sri Lanka, you would be playing 10 years, 15 years, and play the women's IPL when it gets bigger and bigger. Would have been great for you. It's okay. Now you have to. The Indian people watching this program that are involved with the various franchises, take note. Sripali's now a leading trainer, a leading fitness person, understands fitness, holistic approaches, the yoga, the transition from cricket to other sports or to another life. She's the person you need to get in as a mentor, like a Simon Kadich or Ricky Ponting. Sripali is the next Ricky Ponting of the IPL for women. Don't forget that. Mustn't forget that. And I will make sure that we don't forget that. Now, let's talk about
Thank you.
Sanju Samson, Sripali. Sanju Samson. Sanju Samson, the captain of Rajasthan Royals, young guy, captaining, scored a century in the first match, didn't do well last night. What's your thoughts? Do you know much about Samson? He plays for. It's okay. Sripali is going to get through that. No way, we're going to keep persisting. We're not going to give up. Sripali doesn't give up. We don't give up. Yes, Praveen, Australian women's cricket team is the best. Because why are they the best? Because they've got a great development. They pay their players well. They've got great sponsors. They've got great attitude to the cricket. A lot of other countries say that they are helping women's cricket out, but in fact they're not. They are doing certain things to help them, but they're not getting them sponsors. A lot of the Sri Lankan companies, the Indian companies, and obviously Pakistani and the like, are all not. They're not taking into account the way that they look at their women's cricket. They need to get more sponsors on deck, a hell of a lot more women's sponsors to be able to make sure that happens. And I've noticed, I'm at the actual Crown Plaza Hotel here in Coogee, and we've got the men's, I think, over 60s cricket team here. Actually, it's quite interesting. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite 60, but I'm getting close. So Parveen, you've asked about Sanju Samson. I think he's a very good captain. He certainly is a great batter. He could well be pushing for selection back in the Indian team. It's about his consistency that's important. That is why Sanju Samson will be successful if he becomes consistent. It looks like he will be that. Rishabh Pant, where do we need to talk about Rishabh Pant? Again, last night he got 50-odd runs. There were some questions about his captaincy around some of the decisions with the bowling. Why Ashwin didn't bowl 4 overs, I don't know. The use of Tom Curran was quite dismal. Rabada played well. For his first game back after being in quarantine, he played particularly well. Maybe he didn't play as well as we would expect, but he was certainly playing well enough. So don't discount him at all. Again, with the women's cricket, it is something of great importance to everyone. So we'll need to be able to get that. So let's go to Sripali. You're back, Sripali. That's right. Just keep talking. Well, I can hear you. Don't keep talking. We can hear you. All right. Keep talking. We can hear. I can hear you. Everything's good. It's good. Just come closer. Come closer to the camera, Sripali. Come closer to the camera. That's okay. Just put your volume up. It's okay. It's all right. You can hear me. You can hear me. That's all right. Don't move. It's okay. Guys, it's worth persisting with it. We have an amazing person here who can talk about incredible experiences. Sripali, you've travelled all over the world. You've been to many, many cricketing countries like Australia. You've played in Australia. You've been to Australia. You've done a fitness course in Australia. You've been to South Africa. You've been to New Zealand. You've been to a lot of countries. Do you think women's cricket have enough sponsors? Do they need more sponsors for the players?
Actually, in the world, I would say Australia, England, and India, they are doing pretty well in women's cricket. But the other countries, like Asian countries, Sri Lanka especially, we don't have most to Pakistan. They don't have more sponsors for cricket, especially Asian countries. But the other countries that is something. So,
Is it?
but few years back, women's cricket now women's cricket is growing so much. It's really good to see.
It's been now, Sripali, with women's cricket. Okay, we know it's very high level. Hang on a second, guys. I'll get you. You're with the Australian. Over what's your age group?
Just Australian cricket, mate.
bunch of guys with the Australian cricket jackets on just walked past. It's a bit of fun. All these big blazers on. I don't know what the story was there, but anyway, they were asking me what I was doing. So the network is weak. Yes, we can say, but I can hear you now, Sripali. So keep talking and just don't move around as much. Come close to the camera. We can hear you. It's good.
Yeah, I'm so close to her, actually.
Perfect. So, do you think in the next 5 years or even maybe within the next 2 years, we'll see women's IPL with 8 teams. Some teams will be weak, some teams will be stronger, albeit that, but they need to start somewhere. They need to bring that development through. And if girls can see, like, say, Winifred Durasayam, for example, from Malaysia, she could come in. She's a good enough player. She could be an opportunity. The UAE girls, like Chamani, and girls that we know are very good players.
They need opportunity to play cricket outside the Sri Lanka and outside of their countries. So it will be they take 8 women's team into the IPL.
Exactly. Imagine you have 8 teams. You bring in all the players, the girls from New Guinea, from Thailand, you bring girls from Bangladesh, the UAE, Malaysia.
They need opportunities.
Lots of countries, even Vanuatu has good players. Singapore, Hong Kong. These girls can come in and play in this IPL, women's IPL, and get somewhere and get a long way to playing well. So that's very, very important, I think. So that's what I'd like to see more of it. They need to start somewhere. Some people say the teams will be weak. Well, exactly. I think Praveen's also mentioned USA and Europe. Exactly. USA have a great squad of players. Europe, there are many girls playing women's cricket in Europe, expats. So we could have the USA, as you know, is the second biggest audience for cricket in the world. India's number 1. Number two is USA. So they should have a team. They should be able to play. The women's IPL could be able to fill 8 teams easily. Maybe some teams will be a little bit less, but that would work. India need to do that. They are the leading country of cricket, both men's and women's. The Thali Rajas and the Harmanpreet Kaurs are there, certainly, but I think it's time we had that for all. Absolutely. Excuse me, what's your jacket about?
It's 50. 50.
Oh, 50. All right. Come on, you want to come on camera for that? You sure? Okay. All right, we've got a bunch of guys that they had their 50th birthday and they're putting on Australian cricket jackets like they played for Australia. It's very, very funny. It's hilarious. I should tell you that. All right. Yes, the USA, women's cricket in the USA. Someone like you, Sripali, should be able to get a high-performance coaching role with the USA, with Europe. Go there and spend a month here, a month there. Maybe not now with COVID, but that's where the development should occur. Indian sponsors should be, the number of people that watch this program both now and the next few days, we need to get them considering that for Indian sponsors. We have, of course, a number of major or senior Indian journalists that I deal with, both on my platform, which of course is Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochman. We also have, see that?
Nice.
We also have, I'll get you one, I'll get you a hat too and a shirt, don't worry. So we have that platform. We need to get them on Extra Time, on Sports Today, on ABP News. This is in India, but it has worldwide coverage. Get the sponsors starting to understand that women's cricket is a future development, especially with the IPL. 8 teams. Why not? Again, imagine you could be playing again. You could have Winifred from there. You could have Chamani from the UAE. You could have players from Bangladesh are not getting a chance. Because Bangladesh have got a lot of good players. They're not getting exposure. And the USA full of great players. They're just not seeing them coming through. A lot of Australians that actually, Australian girls that can't play for Australia, they could play for the UAE as well, or the USA, or whatever team we're thinking.
They need more tournaments.
Yeah, I think that's something that you should on this platform, Sripali, try to gather a development of that. You should go on your YouTube platform as well as mine, other Indian YouTube platforms, and spread the word and get that happening. And be very vocal. And you should attract the sponsors to come in. And even with girls, the other stage, one's playing cricket for the women's IPL. That's one thing. The other thing is development of players, their training, their fitness levels. And thirdly, get them to actually be involved with the transition between playing and post-cricket. That's not well done in the world. You know that. Most girls finish playing cricket, they've got nothing. They might do an interview here, interview there, but they end up doing normal jobs, working in a factory or wherever. They do not undertake a job related to their sport. And they should, like you are with your fitness. Very, very good. Tell people about your fitness course. How long your fitness course was, how hard it was. Talk about it.
It's close to 2 years. So I finished it about 1.5 year, I think. Yeah. So it was really good, and I learned lots of so many things that I couldn't learn in Sri Lanka. So that's why I went there and I studied. It's really good opportunity. Thank you so much, Norman. You gave that opportunity to study there. And I met good trainers in Australia. So I learned from them. So I have good experience with them and my cricket career. So altogether, I'm now in somewhere else. So with that experience, now I'm teaching.
But you finished and you completed. You got through it.
More than theory. Yeah, actually more than theory, practical I really like. So I'm teaching in practical way with my experience.
What I'm doing now, Sripali, is I'm just posting this video to other platforms so they get to see it. I'm putting my video live now. I'm sending it to other platforms like Twitter, Facebook. I'm doing that as we speak. So it's very, very important. So tell us about your platform on YouTube, the name of your platform, what you do on that. Do you do regular videos? Tell us about Myris Yoga and Fitness.
I have YouTube.
You can talk about your platform.
Called Myris Yoga and Fitness. So normally we shared our training, the way we train during the days with yeah. Can you hear me? So
that's okay. I keep talking. You've got a YouTube platform.
Myris Yoga. So you will get free. Yeah, YouTube. We are sharing free yoga and fitness training there.
So your Myris Yoga and Fitness has the platform for yoga, fitness, training, mental developments too, mental strength, good eating habits. That's what she has. She's quite. We'll get it back. Don't worry. It's worth persisting with Sripali. This is very important for everybody to hear, especially those in terms of fitness. I think her fitness regime is amazing. It is really down to basics. She has such things as tire workouts, outdoor circuits, very natural forms of training, not just simply high-powered performance training, but even the most basic of training. Very important for you to listen to the nutritional aspects, the mind control through yoga, all very, very relevant. I think that's where her forte is, and I think you'll find a lot of people will be aware of that and already exercising. A lot of Asanga Sinaratna, who has two daughters that play national and international cricket for Sri Lanka, not cricket, sorry, actually they play tennis. He goes to that classes and he swears by them. He says how good they are and how brilliant they've been for him. So I would recommend that being something that you do. And I think that's a great platform for women's cricket to be able to see the development of women's cricket and then women's training, women's fitness, and also men's fitness. Young age, older age, people who are not so fit like me need to be able to understand the regime that Sripali and her partner Miru Jayawira actually have put into place. So Sripali Weerakkody and Miru Jayawira, they have a platform called Myris Yoga and Fitness. And I'll put it on the end of this discussion, but Myris Yoga and Fitness. So you have, it's at MYRUS Yoga, YOGA, and Fitness. So if you put that into your YouTube search engine, you will find it. You love my Sanjay Chambers, you like my merchandising. I've just had a bit of merchandising. They've got the YouTube site, Eyes on Cricket Northern Coast. I've got the hats there as well. They're going to come in colours of white, pink, the blue. You might have the black as well. We're also going to have an array of cups, and other products which we're going to bring on deck shortly after as well. We're going to bring them into play. So I just thought I only got this about 2 hours ago, so beautiful quality, and we'll make sure that we get them on our merchandising aspect. You'll see on the top of my YouTube channel, you have there's a community page where a lot of the short stories, photographs and videos are. Community page, then you have the store or merchandising, you have that as well, and membership as well. You have there the various things that we have available there for you to watch and use. So again, Praveen and Sanjay were looking at there, Emma and Way as well. We do have a network of women's cricket all over the world. You were saying Europe are very strong. Going back to the men's though with the IPL, tonight's game, of course, is we have two very interesting sides. The two kings, let's say, the two kings, Chennai Super Kings and the newly named franchise, which has been around for a while, is Kings 11 Punjab, are now called Punjab Kings. So Punjab Kings, excuse me, Punjab Kings are versus the Chennai Super Kings on the same platform. Be a very interesting match. We'll have obviously Dhoni playing against KL Rahul. Very impressive indeed. So very, very good platform for those players to be playing on. Who will win between the Punjab Kings and the Chennai Super Kings? I would argue that the Punjab Kings are going to do a very good job. They've actually played particularly well in the match they played before. A lot of young players, like also got Chris Gale there as well, a great captain in KL Rahul. Chennai Super Kings have got perennial favourites. Your perennial favourites are, of course, the likes of a Dhoni, Suresh Raina, obviously young Sam Curran, who's a particularly good player. His brother Tom perhaps didn't have as good a game last night, but I think Sam certainly will. So there's a lot of opportunity there for him to play as well. Just going to see whether Sripali's coming back. She gave a pretty good head out on the phone there, so just see whether Sripali's coming back. She's telling me the signal's down, but she's able to text me, so she obviously. Very important to be able to talk to someone who's had all this experience with women's cricket. So, Vishal Malik saying, Norman, why don't you go in a pre-show with Chris and Pretty? Well, Chris is unavailable all this week because he's been involved with a game yesterday. You would have seen videos of it. In fact, I'm getting a video put together now. But Chris Vernon played his initial game at Lord's, St John's Wood in England, in London. He played for the MCC, the Marylebone Cricket Club, which was a massive deal. He opened the batting. MCC South played MCC North. Chris was within MCC South. He opened the batting. He walked out to the Hello Turf and Lords. What an amazing experience that was. I've had that experience. Can't get better than that. SCG and MCG as well. All great grounds. He played there. He in turn scored. He went out to bat. First ball, well not first ball, but the first scoring shot, he hit a 6. Admittedly, the pitch was very far to one side. It was a short boundary. He hit a 6, first shot. Then he ended up getting 53 and he scored his 50 with another 6. This time it wasn't on the short boundary. It was straight back over the bowler's head, straight to level with which a relatively long boundary. So that's where Chris has been. Pretty is also recovering from a long season of being involved with my cricket channel, and she's also with a lot of other commitments. She's all over the world with geopolitical discussion. Pretty's a force to be reckoned with. She's based in California. She had a small break. She went to the Virgin Islands, and I think she realised she needed a longer break, and that's why she hasn't been on the program. So it's not because we don't want to. Tonight, post-show, the time will be a little bit later. It's at, I think it's about midnight, which is late, I know, but the game will be finishing about a short while before that. Midnight IST time, you'll have Pretty Upala, Chris Vernon, Jabasha Sen, and a number of other guests will be on my show talking about the post-review of the match, which we're talking about the two Kings, the Chennai Super Kings and the Punjab Kings we talked about in that post-match. So yeah, we do want to get pre-shows in, but at the moment we haven't got that commitment of time. But don't worry, I'm here now. I'm talking now, guys. So let's have the questions. We want Upala on the show. Come to China, and I'm real okay. Well, we may not go to China at the moment. In fact, we may not go anywhere because of the situation with COVID-19. Unfortunately, COVID-19 is by no means in the best of situations, and we probably need to be wary of that now. We need to be able to make sure that we have people stay at home and watch these channels. You've got these great YouTube channels now with my work. Again, Eyes on Cricket. You should be stamping that. If you're not subscribing, you should be subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. you should be able to share my platform to other people. And Praveen expects more street news. I'm giving you plenty of that. In fact, I've got one more I'm going to be uploading very soon. I'll be doing one later on this afternoon, okay? So I'll go out the streets this afternoon and do some for you. You like Praveen? Any changes expected for changes expected team-wise? Most teams have been keeping pretty static. You may see some small changes at Punjab Kings. I just wonder about some of their bowlings. Berendorf's not there yet. Berendorf is not joined the CSK. I think he might be very close. I think he's definitely being quarantined. They meant to have Mitchell Marsh. Berendorf played the final of the one-day match between New South Wales and WA. New South Wales won that. Currently, those who don't know, New South Wales played Queensland, and Queensland looks like they're doing very well. In fact, they're well ahead. You never know what will happen in that match, but we'll wait and see what happens there indeed. So I'll just see whether Sripali's come back on. I think she may not come back on. And if that's the case, we may end the session at that point. Okay, so Sripali's, she's going to come. Enough for today. She said she's tried her best. She'll come back on Monday. She'll be able to do a lot more for us, and she'll be fine. So great to have her on. Always great to have her. I mean, I've had some great guests, guys. You must admit. Adam Holyoke. We've had the likes of David Graveney. We've had Sripali Weerakkody. We've had Monty Panesar. We've had Barry Richards. Sorry, not Barry Richards. Barry Nice. We've had a number of Jeff Thompson's, Doug Waller's been on a number of times. I think I might get them back. Lenny Pascoe. We've had a number of people from England, Simon Willis, Chris Vernon. Indian guests will have plenty more. There's plenty of media interest from India. We'll be able to get more on our platform, so stay tuned. All right, guys. Don't forget, eyes on cricket. We're doing constant merchandising there. Hit the YouTube subscribe button, the notification button. You know the name of the company. Please join up. Spread the word. If you want more street interviews, Praveen, if you let me do them, I'll go and do some more street interviews. I did some about Chris Gale, actually. There was a bit of a sound problem, but it worked out okay. So, all the best, guys. We might end it there. Sripali's not coming back, so this is Norman Kochnik on my platform, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnik. So, view, like, and share. Make sure you get as many people to come on the platform. We're going to have the post-match review later on tonight. Stay tuned for that. I'm also going to have tomorrow morning an early breakfast beachside with a number of Australians and their fan reactions. So it will be a street perspective as well. I'll be doing that for you. This is Norman Kochnik here. Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnik. Speak to you soon, guys. Thanks for joining.